Millions of years ago, the world was a place of untamed wilderness. Earth was colder, harsher, and dominated by survival. Snow covered vast plains. Volcanoes rumbled in the distance, and massive creatures roamed the forests. This was long before the modern wolf existed, but deep within the shadows of time, their ancestors were already rising, silent, patient, and destined to become legends. It all began around 40 million years ago with a creature known as Miacis, a small, weasel-like carnivore that roamed the ancient forests of North America. Miacis was not a wolf, not even close, but it carried within it the blueprint of the predator that would one day rule the northern world. It was agile, intelligent, and curious, hunting insects, small mammals, and sometimes scavenging leftovers from larger beasts. Miacis laid the foundation of what we now call the Canidae family, the group that would give birth to foxes, jackals, dogs, and wolves. As ages passed and climates shifted, Miacis evolved into new forms. Rivers turned into ice, forests into tundra, and life itself adapted or perished. From Miacis came Sinodictus, a more advanced predator with longer legs, sharper teeth, and the first signs of the hunting instincts that wolves would perfect millions of years later. Sinodictus learned to chase instead of ambush. It learned to cooperate, to run with others. That spark of teamwork, that instinct to survive together, became the soul of the wolf. Around 15 million years ago, the Earth entered a new era of mammalian dominance. The climate was changing rapidly. Grasslands expanded, forcing forest predators to adapt to open hunting. It was in this shifting world that Timarctus appeared, a fierce hunter that looked remarkably wolf-like. Timarctus had a longer snout, strong jaws, and a body built for endurance rather than speed. It could run for miles across open plains, tracking prey by scent and sound. Its diet changed too, not just small prey, but large mammals. It started targeting creatures bigger than itself, a sign of growing courage and intelligence. Timarctus was one of the last direct ancestors before the emergence of the true wolf. By 5 million years ago, the first wolves had begun to appear, the earliest known being Canis lopophagus. It was lean, fast, and cunning, a predator that thrived in packs. This was the dawn of true wolf behavior. No longer solitary hunters. They learned to move as one, to think as one, and to strike with deadly coordination. This unity made them unstoppable. Together, they could bring down animals 10 times their size. In the frozen landscapes of prehistoric America and Eurasia, pack hunting became evolution's masterpiece. But the Ice Age would test them in ways no creature had faced before. Temperatures plummeted. Prey became scarce. Only the smartest and strongest packs survived. Those that adapted developed thicker fur, keener hearing, and sharper senses. Their bodies grew more powerful, their endurance unmatched. Their howls became more than just cries. They were signals, communications that bonded the pack like a single organism. Through centuries of survival, wolves mastered something few animals could: balance. They were ruthless when hungry, but deeply loyal to their own. Each wolf knew its place: the alpha to lead, the hunters to chase, the mothers to protect. Every member was vital, and every life had purpose. This structure was not taught. It was written into their instincts, carved by evolution itself. Around 300,000 years ago, the Ice Age reached its height. The Earth was blanketed in glaciers, mammoths, giant deer, and bison dominated the land, and among them prowled the wolves. But not the wolves we see today. These were the dire wolves, massive, muscular, and built like living weapons. They were nearly twice the size of modern wolves, with bone-crushing jaws and immense strength. Their hunt was a violent dance, brutal, coordinated, and effective. They ruled with unmatched ferocity, and for a time no predator challenged them. Yet, as powerful as they were, Even the dire wolves could not escape the changing earth. When the Ice Age began to fade, temperatures rose, forests returned, and the massive prey they depended on slowly disappeared. Mammoths and giant bison went extinct, and with them, the dire wolves' way of life began to crumble. They were too large, too specialized, and when food became scarce, they vanished into extinction around 11,000 years ago. But another kind of wolf survived. Smaller, faster, and far more adaptable. This survivor was the ancestor of the modern gray wolf, the species that would carry the legacy of its ancestors into the age of man. The gray wolf was not just strong, it was intelligent. It could adjust to new climates, new terrains, and even new prey. From tundra to desert, from mountain to forest, the gray wolf learned to thrive everywhere. Its endurance, intelligence, and communication skills made it one of the most successful predators in the natural world. As humans began to rise, crossing paths with wolves, a new chapter of evolution was waiting to unfold, not just of the body, but of the heart. The same instincts that helped wolves survive together in packs: loyalty, cooperation, protection, would soon connect them to a new kind of pack, ours. But that story belongs to another time. For now, as we look back millions of years, we see the incredible transformation from small forest hunters like Miacis to the mighty gray wolf, the embodiment of endurance and unity. Each step of evolution carved not just a new creature, but a new idea of survival, an idea that strength alone means nothing without connection. The wolf's journey was not about dominance, but balance. It was about learning that even the fiercest predator must rely on others to survive, that cooperation could be more powerful than claws or teeth, and in that truth lies the secret of why wolves endured, and why they would one day become mankind's most trusted protectors. From the silent shadows of prehistory to the frostbitten tundras of the Ice Age, the wolf's spirit evolved, stronger, smarter, more compassionate. The ruthless hunter of ancient times was slowly transforming into a guardian of its kind, an evolution not just of form but of soul. As the Ice Age began to fade, the earth warmed, forests spread again, rivers flowed freely, and new life began to return to the land. Among this changing world walked two of the most intelligent predators nature had ever created: wolves and humans. They were enemies at first. Both hunted the same prey: deer, bison, and elk. Both lived in packs, both relied on teamwork, and both defended their territory fiercely. When their paths crossed, there was only fear, competition, and blood. Humans feared the wolves' glowing eyes in the dark, and wolves feared the weapons and fire of man. Yet deep beneath that fear, something was different. Each saw in the other a reflection of themselves: loyalty, courage, and unity. It began, perhaps, with a single moment. A starving wolf approached a human camp, drawn by the smell of meat and fire, too weak to hunt, too hungry to flee. It waited at the edge of the light. And maybe one human, out of pity or curiosity, threw it a scrap of food. That small act of kindness changed history. Slowly, over generations, wolves began to linger near human camps. They scavenged leftovers, warned of approaching danger, and learned that humans could mean safety instead of threat. The boldest and calmest wolves survived around people, and the humans noticed these wolves were not enemies, but allies. They could sense danger, track prey, and protect the tribe. Trust was born, fragile at first, but real. Thousands of years passed. Those who lived closest to humans began to change, not by force, but by nature. Their bodies became smaller, their faces softer, their instincts gentler, their sharp wildness slowly turned into loyalty. This was the dawn of domestication. From the wilderness emerged the first proto-dogs, the bridge between wolf and companion. They shared the warmth of human fires, the protection of human homes, and the loyalty of human hearts. It was no longer just survival. It was friendship. Man gave wolves food and shelter. Wolves gave man protection, warning, and companionship. Together, they became an unstoppable force, hunters, explorers, and guardians of one another. In this silent bond, something greater than evolution took place, an emotional transformation. The ruthless hunter became a loyal protector, and mankind found, in the heart of a wolf, the meaning of trust. What began as fear ended as family. As centuries passed, the bond between humans and wolves deepened. They were no longer two species. They were partners, bound by survival and understanding. What began as a cautious alliance slowly became one of the most powerful relationships in nature's history. Humans had changed the world, building shelters, tools, and tribes, and beside them, always close, were their loyal shadows. The early wolves that chose to stay, generation after generation, those wolves adapted to human life. They learned to read gestures, sense emotions, and follow commands. They no longer hunted against man, they hunted with him. Nature began its silent work. The fiercest wolves avoided humans, while the calm and friendly ones stayed closer. Over time, their features softened. Shorter snouts, rounder faces, and eyes that no longer glowed with menace, but with warmth. This slow, natural process shaped the first domestic dogs, loyal, brave, and deeply connected to people. Humans soon realized these companions were more than hunters. They were guardians, helpers, and even family. When tribes migrated, dogs led the way, sensing danger before it arrived. When humans slept, dogs kept watch, their loyalty unbroken even in the coldest nights. Together, they conquered new lands, survived harsh winters, and built civilizations that would have been impossible alone. Dogs began to change based on human needs. Some grew larger and stronger to guard herds. Others became swift and agile for hunting. Some grew smaller, meant to comfort rather than fight. In every corner of the world, the legacy of the wolf took a new form, shaped by love, purpose, and survival. Yet deep inside every dog, the spirit of the wolf still whispered, a memory of wild mountains, moonlit hunts, and ancient loyalty. The transformation from hunter to protector did not erase the wolf's soul. It simply gave it a new reason to live. Through this bond, humans found companionship, courage, and connection, and wolves, once feared as ruthless killers, found peace beside the fires of mankind. They were no longer just survivors of evolution. They had become its greatest masterpiece. The wolf had not been tamed by force. It had chosen to evolve with us, and in that choice, both species changed forever.